Leticia, I'm so glad to get to talk to you this evening. Thanks for making time for a conversation that another conversation for us, but one that we get to share with some other people. I really wanted to have a chance to allow people to see your breadth, your knowledge, your heart mostly, and all that you bring to our work in Sanctuary Tijuana. So grateful for this opportunity. Thanks for making time for me and for this chance to talk. Would you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and your family, and tell me a little bit about what drew you to work with survivors and women more broadly.
Mhm. Sure. Hi, Shannon and everyone. It's a pleasure to me just to share a little bit about my passion. So I'm Leticia, and I'm from Mexico City. I was serving the last 10 years in one of the biggest brothels in Mexico City, just working alongside with women in prostitution and also survivors from human trafficking, especially with immigrant women and children. So this is me, just a woman who like to share her freedom to others and also to see everyone just be free, you know. And I'm married. I have 2 years being married with a little um, lovely boy, baby boy. He's 1 year and almost 1 year and a half. And my husband is teacher at the university. So we are living here in Tijuana since 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is the bridge between Mexico City and Tijuana is because Tijuana is also one of the biggest cities here in Mexico with this huge problem about human trafficking. So it's one of the cities in all Latin America where a lot of people is just smuggling to be trafficking also in the United States, or also is exploited, but especially they are victims of human trafficking because they are people with a lot of vulnerabilities like poverty, no studies, no support groups around them.
Yeah.
So one of my passion is just to try to bring hope to them, not because I have everything, but because I believe that we can just bring something maybe tiny, but bring something tiny every single day to make this better, make this world better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love coffee, I love chocolate, and yeah, and I love just to see the sun rises every single day. That
Uh,
brings me a lot of hope.
do you like do you like dark chocolate or sweet chocolate?
No, dark chocolate.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, that is the best one. And dark coffee.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so do I remember right that you were raised around Mexico City? Was that home for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what were the experiences that, in your life in that area that drew you from, you could have gone any direction with your life, right? Any direction with your skill set, any direction with your education. What drew you towards working with prostitutes, survivors, vulnerable women?
Hmm, that is a good question. Well, I studied business management and accountability, so it's just different, real different. But so one day I was just thinking about a lot of people who used to live on the streets, or maybe they don't have family or relatives. So I was serving with another ministry called Hands of Hope, and we used to go to the hospitals to talk with children. And one day I was waiting for the team in this dangerous area in Mexico City. And then I saw a girl. There was a girl stand up in the corner of the street. And I just start saying like, hello, how are you? And this girl looked at me with a weird, eyes and face.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'm waiting for my friend. So are you waiting for your boyfriend? And she said, said, like, seriously? And I said, well, I'm just asking. And then I, I made the worst question ever. And
Mm.
I said, what do you do in life? And she started just sharing with me her story. She was being in prostitution by almost 10 years.
Oh,
She
my.
was 20 years old with a 2 years baby boy. And she
Oh,
shared with me that she was right there selling her body because her boyfriend just um, asked for that. And if she didn't do that, she was not available to see her baby. So I was in shock. And then after 10 minutes, a policeman was walking toward us, and she said, oh, please go away and take her. And on my way to get home, I was thinking, what? I always thought that any young girl like me were studying in college or university with a good family, supported by them. And that would just broke my bubble, you know? And then the first thing that I said to my mom was like, why this happened? And my mom said something really wise. She said, Leti, that is not the question. The question is not why. The question is, what would you like to do for, like, why are you studying what you are studying? And what would you like to do for these girls? So I just started thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I'm studying, I'm not rich. And so I thought, if I can go again to this place and start talking with the girls, maybe something can change. And then the next week I started doing, and then I started attending every week to visiting these women in prostitution, just saying, hi, I'm Letty, and how are you? And would you like to talk about your day? And then it was just incredible because some of them were really serious or mad or angry. And after a short talking, they were smiling and they were saying, thank you for coming. Or I remember one of them said to me, thank you for look at us. And thank you for take time to come with us. So I just started doing that because I thought, if I could be in that situation, I would love that someone just turn around and look at me, or say something, or bring hope, or I don't know, things like that. And they are women like me. I mean, I'm woman, so we are not different. The only difference is that they were in other situation, but especially they weren't free to live that kind of life.
mm.
And with my freedom, I was thinking, maybe I can do something. So that is something that I really love. And I have a lot of stories that I could share with you, but there is not enough time to do it. But the other thing that I would like to say is, one day, talking with one of my friends, I met a new girl. Her name is Veronica. And I said, hi, Vero, how are you? And she said, oh, please, if you're just going to pray for me, stop. I don't need that. And I said, oh, no, don't worry. And she said, yes, a lot of people used to come and pray, and that's good, but I need food. I need a job. I need money to survive. And that was just a big thought on my mind, like, that's true. They need opportunities to grow, opportunities to have a real job, and opportunities to develop her dignity, her humanity. So when I heard about Sanctuary, that was something that just, it was like a sparkle for me, like, oh, we can be the place where they can grow, and where they can just have an opportunity, a real opportunity to be, to enjoy the freedom, and especially the freedom to make decisions
Yeah.
for their own future. So yeah.
So we got lucky because you you had that heart that was developed there in Mexico City and that work you were doing there. You got married. Your husband got a job in Tijuana, right? So you moved up as a newlywed to Tijuana, and we were in need of someone to take over leadership in Sanctuary Tijuana, and we got you, which was an enormous blessing. You walked into a situation that was, some really beautiful women, some really great opportunities, and some real challenges. And I would love you to talk about a little bit of both.
Yeah, I guess I have learned a lot from my friends, and especially who have been trafficked.
Yeah.
And it's just a pleasure for me and an honor to me be with them. But I really believe that there's a lot of challenge. It's so easy just to go and say hi or just be there for a couple hours, but to be alongside with them every single day, it's just so different, because you have to, well, you don't have to, you need to have a real commitment with them. And especially here in Tijuana, sadly, Tijuana is a really corrupt city. So there's a lot of people being victim of human trafficking. So that is the biggest challenge. How can you reach those victims? And the next one is, how can I support them once they are rescued from this situation? So I do really believe that once they are free from this situation, they have lost connection, purpose, and value. And that is a privilege, but also that is a challenge. You have the privilege to be with them, to rescue their value, their purpose, and their connection. But that is something that they just have been broken inside them. They have forgotten that they have value. They have forgotten that they have purpose, or maybe they have no idea that they have purpose, and they don't have connection with anybody because they have been insulated or just hide, in a secret places, or disconnect from everybody. So just to work with these three areas, I guess, is something really important. And that is something that I like a lot from Sanctuary, because we have these pillars, that is health, education, and community. So I do really believe that through health, we can bring that value, that dignity, that humanity to the survivors. And through education, we can bring all the skills that help them to think about their purpose, dreams, aspirations, vocational, and through this pillar of community, they can be reconnect with society, with people, with everything. So that is just great. And through the pillar of income, they can have this opportunity to feel that they can bring something to the world. It's not that I can get something from Sanctuary, is that through Sanctuary I can bring something to the world. And that is a blessing, but it's a real challenge.
Sure. Yeah. Man, I can remember a conversation we had not too long ago. We were, with a small group, we were talking about, what are we really trying to do, right? We were trying to put some new words around what our key outcome was. And most of the group was talking about trying to get a woman to a place of security, to a place of safety, to a place of stability. And but you pressed us on that. You challenged our thinking to actually say that maybe the outcome was just beyond that, to the place where she had freedom. And with freedom came something like risk. With freedom came something like chasing dreams. With freedom came something that was not just stable and secure. You remember that conversation? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so, I mean, tell me more about that heart you have to see a woman really in her fullness.
I guess that sometimes when we think about secure or stability, I I think that we are thinking in a good way, like we want to see these women feel safety and comfy in a nice way.
Mhm.
But I do really believe that change and challenge are the area where we can grow deeply and grow in a best way, because we can just discover our abilities. So these women has faced has faced a lot of troubles, a lot of challenge, and they have a big resilience in there. So because all the troubles and all the things that they have experienced every single day in a bad way. So can you imagine being in a sanctuary, being challenged in a good way, can you imagine these women facing change in a good way? They can grow a lot and they can shine a lot. I'm pretty sure about that. So I used to compare this with Moses. Do you remember Moses
Sure, sure.
when she was just before God's presence? But I like, because God said, take your sandals out, like off of you.
Mm.
Even for Moses, he had to do something uncomfy.
Yeah,
He had to do something not nice for him,
yeah,
but the results of this was a big change.
yeah,
So I do really believe that when women in a sanctuary experience this challenge, this kind of change, it could be something different. It will be maybe not really nice, but they can grow a lot and they can just face their gifts and discover their real vocations. It's
yeah.
not, I do not believe that every woman needs to make jewelry, but it's just the bridge where they can discover, oh, I can do this.
Right.
And oh, maybe I won't make jewelry for the rest of my life, but I would like to do computer work because I saw this at the sanctuary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So they can start just dreaming again and making choices or a better decisions for their own future. So
Yeah.
I
We're
do.
not trying to train jewelry makers, right?
Yeah,
We're
exactly,
we're
exactly.
using that as a first step to all of the changes we hope that we can encourage and um, facilitate in the woman, right?
Exactly.
Well, I love that. It's so moving to me, that thinking, Leticia, and just the just the love that is in your perception of people. The love for them and the belief in them, the dream for them. And I think that's just absolutely beautiful. I know you haven't been there a long, long time, but can you think of a story in this last 10 months, one of our participants who you've seen a kernel of that take root in their life, where they've gone from some lack of sense of no sense of purpose to some sense of purpose, from no sense of value to a sense of value? You know what I mean? Can
Yeah.
you, is there a participant that comes to mind?
Yeah, I'm thinking in one of the participants, and she has been a long time at the sanctuary with us. And the first time that I talked with her, she said to me, "Oh no, I can't do this, I can't
Hmm.
do that." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I am a left-hander, so it's just so difficult for me." And I said, "Hey, but you have been with us almost 4 years. So what do you need just to feel comfy, with more confidence?" And she
Yeah.
said, I don't know. So I just started talking with her every week and bringing a new challenge every week with her. And I just used to say, like, just do the best that you can, the
Hmm.
best.
Hmm.
If you have any mistake, no problem. You're human like me. I used to do it a lot. And after, I guess, 2 months, she was promoted to the next level. And she has been the best in the last year making jewelry.
Fabulous.
She grew in that area, but also she grew a lot in confidence, in taking feedback. Uh, she grew a lot in handled conflicts with the rest of the participants. So that is great, and she, the last time that I talked with her, she said to me, thank you for all the change that you made, because maybe I needed that to grow a little bit. And she said, I would love to keep learning. And that she said also, I would like to learn more things, not only jewelry.
Yeah.
And that is what we want.
Yes.
I mean, that is what I want. Like, I want to learn something new. I want to study something new. Because I have discovered that I can be able to do it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that is great. And the other thing, it's not from the participants, but 2 weeks ago, I have a really good conversation with a woman, sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking, and she asked to me, and what do you do? So I shared a little bit with her. She's probably on her 30s. And she said, oh, so are you saying to me that human trafficking is related to prostitution? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, okay. And what happened if that is the only thing that you know, and you don't have any other option to survive?
Right.
And I said, well, I guess that there's options, but maybe this person was alone. So our job is to bring that opportunities. And she said, I want to share something with you. I was in prostitution almost 10 years. And I left that 8 years ago. And I never thought that there was places bringing these opportunities. And she said to me, I really appreciate what you are doing, what your organization is doing. But I would love to know about this 8 years before.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I thought, wow, there's a lot of women outside that we have no idea what they are facing, but they are waiting this kind of opportunities. And just after 15 minutes talking, she said to me, thank you so much for sharing with me what you are doing. It's so good for me, because now I know that the rest of my friends that are in prostitution have this chance. And I said, oh, thank you. But just even talking with women, as being part of Sanctuary, we can also bring change.
Yeah.
Or bring knowledge about human trafficking, or being just something different to people that they have never heard about human trafficking.
And just all the ways that women can be in vulnerable, exploited situations, right?
Exactly.
So tell me, as you have learned your neighborhood, as you've started to learn the landscape of Tijuana, what are these women facing there? Like, give me a sense of what the vulnerabilities, the hardships, the difficulties that are putting women in these really awful spaces. Okay, that's part A. And then second part, tell me your dream for what happens next, what we bring to that city.
Well, they are facing a lot of challenge, but especially one of them, I guess, is the machismo. Here in Mexico, the machismo have been really bad for women, especially because reduce the women only to an object. It's like you women were created just for have babies, or sex, or be cleaning the house. you don't have this access to study or work or dream. So that is just the root of these ideas about, okay, women are useful for pleasure or to bring pleasure to men especially. So here in Tijuana, that is a big issue. I have met a lot of women who they don't really believe that they can get a good job or study. And there's a lot of migrant women from IT, from Central America, from different countries, and they are looking for a better life.
Yeah.
And in order to look for a better life, there are a lot of traffickers who abuse about this and offer false opportunities of jobs. So that is one, that they don't know the country, they don't know the places, they don't know also the language. And also there's a lot of poverty. Even Tijuana is a city in the border. It's just incredible, the contrast. You know, a lot of opportunities with these big enterprises, but also a lack of these opportunities because they have no studies, maybe they don't speak English, or maybe they don't have family. Most of them travel alone with their children. So all these bring a small vulnerability, and then it's a lot of vulnerabilities around them that don't help them to really grow or reach this good life. So one of my dreams, and I think it's a dream from Sanctuary also, is to bring hope. Hope not only in an idea, you know, hope in a tangible way, you know, like here's the hope. You can learn something. We are offering a training where you can learn jewelry, but also we are trying to take care of you in the area of health, education, community.
Yeah.
And when you feel support by someone, when you know that there's people caring for you around you, you start healing, and then you start recovering your value, and then you find your purpose. So I want to see women discovering their purpose, but feeling hope, not only hearing hope, feeling hope.
Yeah.
And also sharing this hope with other women.
Yeah.
Saying like, you know what? I'm touching hope, and I want that you taste it also. And that is my dream. And I do really believe that we can do it through the support of all the people that is just around us. And because there's a big necessity, and I know that we can reach all these women, but if we can bring hope, a bunch of women, they can share that home, and they can share that home, and so we can reach more women.
You can spread from there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so beautiful. Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so great to talk to you. I love both, obviously your huge heart for women, but the way you dream and your inner resiliency that just kind of works on their behalf. And I appreciate that so much, Leticia. Thanks for sharing that again with me. Thanks for sharing that in this conversation with a bunch of others. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time also.